Welcome to Vegan Ultra. I'm your inspiration guide, Adam Gals, on this epic quest for health, hope, and happiness, in which I lose 150 pounds on a whole food vegan diet in just 1 year while walking 3,000 miles to prove to myself, my family, and anyone watching on YouTube that we can all become the ultra versions of ourselves if we give it a chance and are powered by plants. Today is the weekly training update. So let me show you the diet of champions that has let me walk 19 marathons in 2 months. That is 506 miles, the distance of 19.3 marathons, or walking from New York City to Detroit. Remember, the goal is in 1 year to essentially walk from New York to Los Angeles. So far, I've averaged 9 miles per day, though of course I like to take Saturday and Sunday off as days of rest. I burned nearly 90,000 calories, 25 pounds of fat, losing 92 pounds in 23 weeks. Now, the number one priority, of course, has to be the walking. As great as the weight training is, you cannot lose 150 pounds unless you have a good calorie deficit. So this is where the walking is so important. And remember, in the science-based magic of walking, we saw how walking itself has an incredible health benefit, specifically reducing your mortality risk. Let us see where it is here. We have weight training. This is why I'm doing that. 27% reduction in all-cause mortality. We have daily exercise. Now, this they studied specifically in terms of walking, but walking alone, just moderate exercise through the form of walking, can cut your risk of Alzheimer's by about 45%. So it's not just about weight loss, it is about the actual benefits. So number one priority is got to get those miles in. Now, we also, as we just saw, 27% reduction in all-cause mortality from weightlifting. So it's not just about losing weight. You want to maintain as much muscle as possible, because the goal is to get to around 10% body fat, that Captain America physique, the healthiest, happiest version of myself that also looks the best. So what I've had to do this week is put off the kettlebells and the extra cardio classes that my trainer wanted to gradually introduce. The idea is we go with whatever your body can accommodate, because remember, recovery is important. You don't want to overtrain, you don't want to hurt yourself and derail all of your goals. So this basically, the priority right now has to be the walking and the weight training. Each week we go up slightly harder in intensity. So let me show you the diet of champions powering all of this. This is Chronometer, one of the 7 experts and tools I use. My doctor, my dietitian, my personal trainer, my AI life coach, the NIH body weight planning tool, the spreadsheet that I show you each week, and Chronometer. This is a wonderful free site. I personally pay for the premium version for a little bit of extra features, but it's nothing that most people actually need to use. So let me show you. This is just an average representation. As I showed last week, I actually have high calorie and low calorie days in terms of calories. Specifically, I don't actually plan meals in terms of daily calories. I have, for example, my high calorie workout day soup on Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday. I have a low calorie soup. This makes it very easy. I just duplicate these each week and then make minor adjustments. I plan out how much fruit I want, how much nuts I want, how much Blue Zone, whole food, cinnamon, plant milks I want, and any other kinds of things, such as in week 22, as we saw, the family meal. This is, of course, for Christmas. So this 2,500 calories, this just represents on average. Now, this showing about 153 grams of protein per day, lots of carbs to power it, and healthy fats. Look at that fiber, 110 grams of fiber per day. Now, to show you the rest of this, we need to make a minor adjustment. For example, here, Trader Joe's is very good. This is where I get my tempeh. Remember the science-based magic of tempeh, the healthiest form of soy you can eat. And the reason that you want to get the more detailed information, this is just a generic one from NRCCD statistics, is, for example, here, this is generic tempeh. You can see that they have the entire amino acid profile, they have all the minerals, they have all the vitamins, or the vast majority of them. So here, basically, Chronometer, fantastic way of just double checking your nutrition, because remember that every diet needs to be an optimal diet for health, not just vegan diets, but here is the position of the American Dietetics Association, the largest dietetic association or group of dietitians in the world. A well-planned vegetarian and vegan diet is appropriate for individuals during all stages of life, including pregnancy, lactation, infancy, childhood, adolescence, and athletes. And this, they make sure they define it as does not include meat, seafood, or products containing those foods. So what does a well-balanced diet look like? Now remember, the standard American diet is deficient in over a dozen vitamins, including things like B12, including fiber. 97% of Americans deficient in fiber. Ironically, just 3% deficient in protein. But let's take a look at what is in this average daily diet. So we have tempeh. We have, this is the unsweetened pea milk, the great value. So this is the best value, 82 cents for no salt added cans. And this is about 26 grams of protein, absolutely incredible. And of course the beets, 2 cans of beets gives you 8 units of nitrates. That has been shown to boost performance in the gym by about 7%. Now, ironically, nitrates, there's more nitrates in greens like kale and spinach and collard. I'll show you that in a second. But of course, I'm only eating about a third of this before I work out. So you can see that we have basically, let's take a closer look at what's in this daily diet. I have some nutritional yeast for the B12, but it's also just very, very tasty. It's rich in umami, so you want that flavor. We have turmeric and black pepper. This is, of course, turmeric, the highest and the most anti-inflammatory substance yet discovered by science, according to Dr. Greger, and black pepper makes it 20 times more absorbable. Indian gooseberries, this is the best, second best in terms of antioxidant, or number one in terms of antioxidants. This is as much as 200 times the antioxidants of blueberries. Now, of course, you have to get the powder because getting it fresh, well, outside of India, it's very hard to do. Ginger is the second most anti-inflammatory. Garlic, number 3 most anti. Onion is also very powerful anti-inflammatory, also anti-cancer. Cayenne, this is also anti-inflammatory and helps to increase metabolism. So if you're trying to lose weight, this can help boost metabolism by about 4 or 5%, which is quite significant. Mrs. Dash, the both extra, the Southwest and extra. So why do I have that? That is actually for the gut microbiome. You can see that this is a salt-free, very tasty. Now, Mrs. Dash, she has dozens of different kinds of spices, but you can see here we have pepper, chili, cayenne, oregano, thyme, cumin, parsley, basil, rosemary, mustard, coriander. This is in total about 20 different kinds. And if we look at the other one, the extra spicy, it's pretty much the same thing. I love flavor, and your gut microbiome will benefit from every little bit of extra spices or plant-based foods that you offer it. Cumin, this is number 1 source of salicylate. So that's natural aspirin. Remember, if you're doing lots of exercise or you just want to avoid aches and pains, this is the number 1 source of natural aspirin. We also have the deluxe stir-fry vegetables. So what exactly is that? Now, this I get from Walmart. It's the most cost-effective. And the nice thing about these kind of mixed vegetable bags, boom, broccoli, green beans, carrots, baby corn cobs, water chestnuts, and red pepper. So it's delicious. It's a variety. And it's very low cost, $2.50 for a bag of 20 ounces. Now, I also have this mixed vegetables. This is on a low-calorie day. You can put, it's 2 pounds for $2.28. That is 21 cents a serving, the lowest cost form of food I have ever found, cheaper than even dry beans. And of course, if we take a look, it's 11 servings. And this is incredibly high. This entire bag, for example, 22 grams of protein. Now, remember, protein is not something you actually have to worry about, but Americans are constantly worried about it. So flax, remember the science-based magic of flax seeds. I get 2 tablespoons per day for flax seeds. And we have kale, collard greens. Now, this kale is both cruciferous and a green vegetable. Collard greens, the king of calcium. I'm basically doubling up because this also has nitrates. Now remember, nitrates is not just about dilating your blood vessels to boost your performance in the gym by 7%. It also lowers your blood pressure. And remember, systolic blood pressure, the single most important metric to minimizing mortality. We have, of course, beans. Now remember, Walmart, 82-cent cans of beans, no salt added. And they have pinto, they have chili, and they have black beans. Black beans, the most nutrient dense, according to Dr. Greger and Nutrition Facts. We have the beets, each can is 1 pound. And next week, I'll talk about how I worked with my dietitian and doctor to get the supplement schedule to be cost efficient and complete nutrition. We also have, of course, mushrooms. We'll be talking about the science-based magic of mushrooms in a future video. But mushrooms, we have spermidine, we have ergothioneine. In fact, ergothioneine, the single substance most associated with anti-aging. Mushrooms are the king. Specifically, if you can get it, porcini mushrooms. Of course, those are extremely hard to get, $85 a pound. But sliced mushrooms from Walmart, they cost about $2.70 for 10 ounces. Very cost effective and very delicious. We have watermelon. This, for lycopene, a very important antioxidant. You can get also, watermelon has the highest concentration. You can also find it in tomatoes. Walnuts, the king of healthy nuts. 3 servings of this per week can cut your risk of cancer by 50%. And heart disease by nearly as much. And of course, pistachios, which I just love. So you have that. Now, you can also see in terms of the fat, 74 grams of fat, but 77% of this is the healthy fats, monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fat. Remember that the more monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fat you eat, the lower your mortality rate. This is kind of how potassium is the anti-sodium. Well, these unsaturated fats from plants are the anti-saturated and trans fats. These will kill you. These ones will help you live longer and healthier lives. Finally, we can take a look here at the protein. You can see, boom, all essential amino acids. Now remember, every single plant food has every essential amino acid, just different quantities. In fact, the only food that does not have every essential amino acid is Jell-O, which is an animal protein, which doesn't have tryptophan. But you're getting all the protein you need. Looking at the balance, omega-6 to omega-3, 4 or less. The average standard American diet, 25 to 30. Boom, optimal at 3. Potassium to sodium ratio is nearly 9, and in fact, it's actually closer to 10 when we use the Trader Joe's Tempeh. Similarly, calcium to oxalate, pretty much optimal on all the ratios. What about the micronutrients? Now, the iron here, don't worry about that. The beets actually that I'm using have about 8 grams per day less than this. But remember that with non-heme plant-based iron, your body only absorbs what you need. But let's take a look. So we have all the fiber you need. Remember, 100 to 150 grams is optimal. This is actually 110 since we're using the Trader Joe's Tempeh. Calcium is actually around 4,000, but let's take a look at the overall. You can see B12, more than enough, 10 times as much, in fact. Folate, potassium, but let's just run through all of the vitamins specifically. Make sure that all your bases are covered. Over 100% on everything. What about the minerals? We have sodium. Don't worry about the sodium. In fact, studies show that humans can safely and healthily live on around 300 milligrams per day. Now, you need around 500 plus if you're an athlete, but I'm still getting plenty. And you can see everything else over 100%. What about electrolytes? Well, here also pretty much covering all your bases. What about immune support? Well, remember, in terms of omega-3, so where are we getting that? Boom, flax seeds, walnuts. Yes, it's a little bit in the supplements, but really, tempeh, pistachios. The only reason I'm taking these supplements is that they have algae oil, which has EPA and DHA, which are kinds of omega-3s not found in plants. By the way, fish get it from algae. I'm just cutting out the middleman. And of course, avoiding the toxins such as mercury. Omega-6, this is where nuts are the kings. And this is, of course, generally in animal foods, omega-6 fats are inflammatory, but of course in plants it's the opposite. But I still get plenty of those. 17 milligrams per day is the RDA. Okay, so what about antioxidants? So let's take a look at everything. Looks good except for this beta carotene. So what's going on? Well, you can see spinach, kale, leafy greens. Now I'm eating about 2 pounds a day of those, so 12 servings a day. So what is going on? Well, remember, this is great value Walmart. So while they did pay for the nutritional data, they didn't pay to find out how much beta carotene, and so it just shows up as NA. But trust me, 12 servings a day, it's in there. Same thing with lutein, green leafy vegetables #1, and I am pounding the greens and beans. Lycopene, 30 milligrams per day, watermelon, tomatoes, and guava. So just 10 pounds of watermelon throughout the week. That's basically one watermelon. You can, so a seventh of a watermelon per day. And by the way, that only costs $8, so roughly $1 a day to get all the lycopene you need. There you go, the rest of the antioxidants covering all your bases. What about bone health? So vitamin K, this is actually #1 source of vitamin K is in green leafy vegetables. In fact, this is why when you start eating a plant-based diet, you need to tell your doctor if you're on coumarin, also called warfarin, a blood thinner, because that inhibits that works on vitamin K, and green leafy vegetables have a whole lot of vitamin K. I also have that in my supplement, but that's because it doubles up with D3. Next week, I'll talk about how I was able to get my supplements for about 40 cents a day, saving $30 a month over my original formulation. And finally, we can take a look at metabolism support, all over 100%. But I wanted to point out choline, because choline is one of those things that is rich in eggs. So people say, I need to eat eggs to get my choline. Well, yes, choline, you can get that. It's rich in beans. Now, to get 500 milligrams per day, you could do something like 2 or 3 cans of beans, some tempeh, some beets. But this is where I just use, in order to make it cost effective to get that 500 milligrams per day. This is important for brain health and cognition. I go ahead and just throw in that supplement just to make sure that I am taken care of. So there you have it, optimal nutrition on every micro, on every macro, on the protein, on all the healthy fats, on the calories, proteins, carbs, overall neat and tidy. Now, this, of course, is something that you don't actually have to do every day or every week. I just enjoy this because, of course, I like to be optimal. I like to live my life via spreadsheets, the expert consensus, doctor, dietitian, personal trainer, AI life coach, NIH body weight planner, chronometer, and a spreadsheet powered by Google. So 7 experts, 7 tools, also that I can make sure that I am on track to achieve something remarkable, losing 150 pounds safely and healthily in 1 year while walking 3,000 miles to inspire you to try a Blue Zone vegan diet so you too can become the Captain America version of yourself. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video to help other people find it on YouTube, and consider trying a Blue Zone vegan diet. Even if you don't want to be an ultra athlete, this can truly help anyone become the healthiest, happiest version of themselves. It's science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery. It's helped me lose 92 pounds in 23 weeks, on the way to 150 pounds in 1 year, and it can help you to build your own utopia if you give it a chance and are powered by plants.